All right, we are live.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. If there is some training coordinator in the chat, can you guys please confirm if the live has started yet? Any training coordinator, any student attending, please just give me a confirmation that the live has started. I'll also look in the meantime. Started. Okay, great. Yeah, we are live. So yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Omkar Ramchandran Krishna, your Chief Coordinator from the branch of Electrical Engineering for the academic year of 2024-25. Along with me today on Meet, we have Jyotishman Mahanti, who is again a Chief Coordinator from the Department of Ceramic Engineering. We have Prayant Mahanti, acting as the moderator of the session. He is one of the training coordinators under Training Committee CDC. And we have Aniket Nayak, the training coordinator of Metallurgy and Mining Material Sciences Department, who will be guiding you through the core section of today's presentation. We are the representatives of Training Committee under CDC, Career Development Center, NIT Raulkela, and we'll be walking you through the orientation and the briefing session of Training Committee. What the basic purpose of today's session is to give you a walkthrough of what we are going to do for the next academic semester and what our expectations out of you will be and how this is going to actually benefit you. Please pay close attention over the next 1.5 hours. We'll walk you through everything that you need for the next upcoming half a year. And trust me, just following everything can exponentially increase the chances of you bagging the best opportunity that you can over the next season of placements. You guys have already gone through one training session, and I can guarantee you this is going to be very, very different than what you went through last time. And I can guarantee you that this will be far more rigorous than last time. Fair? You guys have a decent understanding of what the internship season has been for you. It has been unpredictable. It has been difficult for some of you, and some of you have bagged great offers as well. Congrats to everyone who did. But just because you have bagged an offer doesn't no way guarantee the same level of success can be replicated if the same level of input or the same level of efforts are not provided. Be very careful of the fact that the competition is stiff and the market is highly, highly unpredictable. But there is no need to worry. I'm not trying to scare you at all here. The only purpose of this meeting is to guide you, is to show you that even though the market is stiff, there are some strategies that give you an edge. Why are we qualified to give you these strategies? Because we have been through 2 years of this tough market. And we also have guidance from many seniors, many of our own alumni who have navigated this network and now are sitting in these companies that you dream to be, that you aim to be getting placed at sometime down the next 6 months or next 1 year. Fair? So with that, we'll just start over with the orientation session of training committee. Can we go over to the next slide, please? Can we go over to the next slide? Yeah, sure. So serving you as chief coordinators will be myself, Jyotishman, and Arshita Mishra. Arshita, unfortunately, due to some last-minute commitments, could not make it to the meeting today. However, she will be very active. She is present in all of the groups that you have been inducted into. Please feel free to approach any one of us. Apart from these people, we have a team of 25 training coordinators who are here to help you navigate any and every nook and cranny of this hectic placement season. Please feel free to reach out to any of them. We are going to proceed further in the slides. Please make a note of who the training coordinators in your branch are. Do not worry, the entire presentation will be provided to you. You can take a note of who these branch coordinators are, and I'm pretty sure they have reached out to you by means of their own WhatsApp groups as well. Yeah, the entire team is here just with the purpose of helping you out. I'm making that clear once again. It is our very job to make sure that you understand what is expected out of you, and it is our job to make sure that you perform great in the placement season that is coming up. Let's walk up to a brief introduction. Our mission is to prepare you for the competitive world of recruitment that is coming forward. We are here to equip you with weapons that to hold in your arsenal that you can use in this very upcoming hectic and unpredictable session. I am continuously reiterating the point of hectic and unpredictable. I understand it may be daunting, but you guys have been through an internship process to some degree, and I hope that you have an understanding of what you guys need to do. Where I'm hoping the ones who were not as much fortunate or as lucky during the internship season, you have made a note of where your gaps are and where you can improve. But guess what? We guys are here to point out more of these gaps and help you improve in those very sectors and those very gaps. Okay. Together, we are here to shape your future, to make sure you get top of the line opportunities and placements, and to ensure that you guys up ahead can become a workforce which is not only inspirational but also functional for your juniors as well, right? Let's move forward. Okay, here's a little brief. This is something I wish that a lot of my seniors led out to me when I was stepping into my placement season. There is a little thing known as a 6-month internship. Okay, this becomes very relevant for you. A lot of software companies and analytics companies in general, in particular, have started giving out 6-month internships along with the possibility of a PPO or an FTE. Let me walk you through three different types of offers that can exist here. One is a simple 6-month internship offer. These are very few and far between. These are fairly rare. Okay? They simply induct you as a 6-month intern. You are going to work under them on a tentative timeline, more or less of January to July. This timeline may fluctuate from sector to sector and company to company. Fair. Software and analytics are some of the sectors that have majorly adopted these. Semiconductor and VLSI has shifted to this drastically. Companies like Texas Instruments, Qualcomm, Nvidia have started giving out 6-month internships along with FTs. Okay? Core sector is something that is a sector that has yet to adopt this through and through, but there are still companies like Maruti Suzuki India Limited and Rashmi Metallics in Meta department that Aniket will be briefing you about as well, that have started adopting the principle of 6-month internships as well. So the three types of offers that I talked about, one is the 6-month internship solely, one is the 6-month plus PPO offer, which is you work with the company, work with the organization for 6 months, and then based on your performance, they choose whether or not to convert you into a full-time employee. Fair. And there is a third type of offer, which is a 6-month plus FTE, which reflects that you work a 6-month tenure for them, and then you are guaranteed a FTE conversion right after. These are the three offers. We will not be concerned with this for the purpose of the training process. However, this is a piece of information that I believe is crucial and valid for all of you. Let's move forward. Yeah. Research internships, again, you guys have walked through this. You know how to cold mail professors. You know how to cold mail organizations. You know which are the major research internship programs that run across the country, Spark and Search particularly. However, I'll take this time to call out the fact if any of you are targeting foreign research internships like MyTax or the research internships at Germany, I believe there is a research program run in Germany. Try migrating to Indian research internship opportunities. Fair, just because a large chunk of these foreign internship programs have stopped inducting Indian students. Fair. That is just a disclaimer. Let's move forward. Okay, let's move on to how this year's training committee is going to function. Plan of action. This will dictate how the training committee is actually going to function for the next 6 months. Firstly, just like your prior process, there will be a CV building and review session. Please pay very close attention to this CV building session, particularly because we are revamping and renewing the CV template. We will be using a new one, a one which is more standardly used across industries. And I need you to make sure that this is your best foot forward. You know the importance of a resume, you know the importance of a CV, you have seen it firsthand. You must have seen how easy it is to just reject people based off their resume, be it because of CGPA or be it because of a lackluster resume. Your resume, for everyone who believes to say, this is something I sent in the internship orientation as well, and I'll repeat to you as well. For everyone who says a single piece of paper cannot decide my future, guess what? This is the single piece of paper that might as well decide your future. This is the one sheet that will tell the employer everything about you that is significant. If the employer skims through your resume and finds nothing significant, it is not the mistake. What I expect out of you, again, we'll be giving you extensive guidance about this. We'll be giving you a list of keywords to include in your resume. We'll be telling you how to include numbers in this resume. We'll be telling you how to include numbers in this resume. We'll be introducing you what the logical flow of the resume should be, what kind of words, action verbs should be used, how to make your resume the most impactful thing possible. And we'll have dedicated sessions for this. Make sure to attend these sessions. Why I'm saying this will again be highlighted later, but I need your attendance here because I am being very honest. The resumes that I saw of some of the students from your batch, again, not to be scaring you, very lackluster. Very lackluster compared to what some of my seniors or some of the students from my batch used to possess. Fair. Alumni Connect is something that I believe you guys must have attended last year as well. We are trying to NIT Roundclass alum base is very wide. It is widespread not only in the nation but the entire globe. In organizations that some of the people dream to work at, be it at Microsoft, be it at organizations like slice, be it at organizations like Tower Research. There is our alum base everywhere. Please make sure to attend the alum sessions wherever it is relevant to your sector, at least those, to hopefully gain insights on how the these functions are function internally. Also to potentially maybe make good connections with these guys so that they might help you out in the future by means of referrals or guidance or however they see fit. Let's move forward. Okay, this is where I come to the point of active participation. Fair. Unlike a few of the training processes that you've been through, this year's training process will be very much based on your active participation. Number one being your evaluation tests. What evaluation tests are is basically that you will be having two tests that will judge you on your technical skill. These tests will be completely online and have a single round of assessment. These will be conducted on an online platform, mostly unstopped. We will inform you well prior to the dates of the test, and I need you prepared for these. Interns might get a degree of excuse as to this may be the very first time they're sitting in such a test. You guys, not so much. I need your best foot forward. Again, if you do not perform very well, please do not be stressed out. Do not worry. These are meant to serve as a baseline. Your performance in these tests will give me your baseline. Through the next 6 months, I want you to improve on this baseline. I want you to build this baseline and get better. There will be two of these tests in the month of December, and we'll inform you well in prior. Next up, coming to the point that I am very passionate about, domain project workshops. Fair. What makes a lackluster resume lackluster is the presence of irrelevant work experience and lackluster projects. Fair. If you being a enthusiast, you have, let's just say, a weather app and a calculator. I mean, it's great that you're building projects by yourself. It is great. But having just these two, do you think you'll be able to stand out against someone who has a LLM integrated portfolio? No. Even though a portfolio is not a great project to begin with, the fact that he has taken the time to build an LLM integrated portfolio and listed it as a project, his resume is going to stand out much more as compared to someone who just built a React weather app. Brother, come on. I know where you source your code from. I know the exact template, the exact UI that you have built. And I can give you the GitHub repository, some of you guys, from where you guys are copied. Fair. So a unique project with a unique idea with completely customized implementation will beat a standard project with copied code any day. This is your foot in the door. If your resume gets shortlisted and your interviewer is impressed by your project, guess what? That impression is going to last. That impression will carry through. And that increases your chances by a lot. To ease into this, we have been curating a list of projects depending on your sectors or your domains. We'll be curating a list of 30 plus domain specific projects. For this, we have not only used our own discretion, we have referred our seniors as well as VC as well as YC companies. What a VC and YC company is? VC stands for a venture capital. You can look at them as investors who invest into companies in exchange for equity, and YCs, Y Combinator companies, which induct startups into them and then help them grow. Fair. These two company backed startups usually undertake their hiring process by means of projects or tasks. Fair. So these are the companies who know what the current and up to date industry demand is. We have collaborated, talked to them, and curated this list. So be very sure that the list of projects we are providing to you reflect only the highest quality of industry standards that are relevant to this day. And if you build these with 100% integrity and genuinity, by obviously, I anticipate that some of you will take some help from online resources from ChatGPT. That is fair. But until and unless you can give me this guarantee that you are building this old project with a good understanding of it, I can guarantee you that these projects are going to be the standard projects in your resume that will help you in these interviews that you are going to face. Let's move forward. Fair. Now let's come on to the USP of this year's training committee, recruitment simulation process. Unlike last year's process, we will not be having group discussions. We will not be having mock interviews. We will simply be having recruitment simulations. Fair. Starting from January this month, we will have recruitment simulations wherein we completely simulate the end-to-end process of a recruitment drive that is conducted by companies. Okay. So let's just say you are in software. You get a notification in the month of January that you are going to have a mock drive that is going to be conducted by the training committee under CDC NIT Rourkela, and the process will include an online assessment and an interview, just as an actual company's drive would be in the domain of software. What this aims to do is, I want to give you the hands-on experience on how a drive is conducted. I want you to realize that simply knowing a skill doesn't mean you can highlight it. And I want you to understand how important it is to emphasize the right parts of your resume and how important it is to guide your interview in the right direction. Fair. Apart from this, I want to bring to your attention there are 4 domains that are going to be listed this year. This is slightly different from last year, wherein this year we'll have 4 domains: software, IT, and BFSI, or software as a lot of you like to call it, VLSI and semiconductor. This is a sector that is currently in a large boom. It includes companies like Texas Instruments, Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm, and so on. You will have your department core, and you will have analytics and consulting. The recruitment simulation process across the 4 domains will be different and will mimic the actual recruitments that happen under the companies under these very same sectors. I hope I'm clear here. Let's move forward. Yeah, so I'll just quickly go over and brief to you how the recruitment simulation of a software company will look like. Fair? Like I said, first round will be an online assessment. You will be tested on 3 topics. Fair? One will be your logical reasoning, second will be your CS fundamentals. With CS fundamentals, you get no exemption. Yeah, interns have it a little easier, but guess what? You are full-time employees, you are placement prospects. You will not have it easy. You will be tested on the topics of OOPS, object-oriented programming. I expect good understanding of DBMS. There may or may not be questions related to SQL. There will be questions related to other computer fundamentals like networking, and there will be questions related to operating systems. Fair? All of these are questions which are asked by recruiters, and I need you to be prepared for them. Your online assessment will again include 2 coding questions like last year. Expect them to be of a decent level. Expect them to be of questions that big name recruiters ask. Fair? For the number of people who manage to go through the shortlist of this first round, yes, there will be multiple recruitment simulations. We will make sure that every one of you appears for at least one interview. However, there will be a process of shortlisting involved. Okay. So the people who clear through the first round of shortlisting will go in for the interviews. The interviews will be just like, Priyant, if you could please ban any unnecessary comments. Just for your information, every single person on this panel is placed. The training committee has a combined CTC of more than 2 crores. So we know our stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah. So we are going on for the interview process. We'll be going on for the interview process, where we will be asking you all questions which are relevant from the perspective of the recruiter. Fair? The software, IT, and BFSI is a sector which has a large number of students every year, and I expect that to be hectic, and I expect your active participation in there. I will be guiding you through the software opportunities, and I will ensure that everyone participates adequately. Fair? Moving on to analytics and consulting, I believe Jyotishman has a far greater say in that domain. Over to you, Jyotishman.
Thank you, Omkar. So, hi everyone. I am Vishman Mohanty, a final year student from Department of Ceramic Engineering, and I am one of the chief training coordinators along with Omkar and Arshita for the session of 2024 and 25. And I will be leading the analytics and consulting domain. And first of all, I would like to welcome you all to this orientation program. And I want to say that we will be helping you and guiding you through the entire training process, and we will make you acquainted with the real recruitment process which you will be facing in your next session. Okay, so that's all from my part. Now coming to analytics. I know most of you would be knowing about what is analytics and consulting, but for the people who don't know what is analytics and what is consulting, just a brief introduction to analytics. Data analytics is nothing but basically collecting, cleaning, and analyzing the data to uncover the various patterns and trends and insights that the data has to offer to us. So in that process, we employ various statistical tools, programming methods, and visualization tools to generate the actionable results which help us in providing insights to our employer or to the company in which we are placed. So, data analytics plays a very pivotal role in many sectors such as finance, healthcare, retail, marketing, in e-commerce. The key aspects of data analytics is collection, cleaning, and analyzing. So basically, we will be using various tools such as Python, SQL, MS Excel for cleaning and analyzing purposes, and we will be using various visualization tools such as Power BI and Tableau for presenting our insights in a well-versed manner. For analytics and for consulting part, consulting is nothing but to use the data or the insights that you have derived from analyzing the rough data uh, that we have achieved from the company itself. We have to analyze the data, and you have to use our brain, you have to use our knowledge and recruit it in the manner of business area, so that the product or the service that a company is selling, how to improvise its sales, how to improvise the profit from selling the product, how to increase its sales. That part of consulting, of communicating a problem statement, its solution to the client side as well as the customer side, comes under the umbrella of consulting. So for analytics and consulting part, we will be having three rounds. The first round will be the OA round, online assessment round, in which there will be questions, 20 to 25 questions on quant. The first section will be quant, which comprises of number theory, arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and some combinatorics. The second section will be comprising of data interpretation and logical reasoning, which will basically be comprising on different type of charts, line charts, bar charts, pie charts, as well as data which will be given, which you will generate from the table itself. The third section will be verbal ability and reading comprehension, which is in short form known as VRC, in which we will be testing your knowledge on English language, where you will be given reading comprehension and some questions on basic grammatical error. The students who will be shortlisted from the round one will further proceed to round two. In round two, there will be case study round. In case study, there are two types of case study. One is the business case study, in which you will be given a problem statement. Let's suppose, for example, I'm saying one problem statement in which, let's suppose, a German car manufacturer uh, is trying to enter into the Indian market of selling its brand new car. So the job of an analytic and the job of an analytics person, or the person who is placed in an analytics company, is to research the market of the Indian market, of which type, which cadre of people are buying which type of cars, which income level of people are buying which type of car. There will be income level, there will difference in income level, there will be difference in demographics, there will be difference in geographical locations. So that work is done by a person data analyst, or if you are placed in a company which does data analytics, and the part of consulting the company side and the client side will be done by a person known as a consultant. So this is the first type of case study. Again, another type of case study which we will be giving you to is the second type of case study, is that we will be providing you a data set. We will be providing you different various workbooks with multiple tables. Your job is to derive the data that we want, that we ask you to derive from these tables using various tools such as Python, SQL, or MS Excel, in whichever tools that you are well acquainted with. The third round will be normal interview round, which we'll be talking in the next slides. Okay. So now I'd like Aniket to talk something about the departmental core.
So, hello everyone. I am Aniket Naik, final year student from Metallurgical and Materials Engineering, and I am serving as the training coordinator for my branch. So, it's needless to say what core sector is. It's specifically tailored to a particular branch and what the industry needs from the particular branch. So, core can be this time core has been divided into two parts. One is departmental core, and other part is VLSI and semiconductor. So the departmental core mainly three rounds are there. In the round one, there is online assessment (OT test) where logical reasoning is there and core fundamental questions are there, which are specific for a specific branch. Then there is GD for round two, where good communication skill will pave you the path to the final interview round, And in interview round, it can be HR interview and technical interview, where you have to answer the questions of the recruiters there. And now I would like to hand over to Omkar to discuss about the VLSI and semiconductor part. Omkar, please.
Yeah, sure. Before I step in, I'll just like to state that the training committee actually functions based on hard facts. So I will apologize for a mistake that I've made in one of my previous statements. The training committee actually has a combined base pay of over 2 crores. Our combined pay CTC is over 4 crores. I'm really sorry for that mistake. Yeah. So moving forward, for the VLSI and semiconductor industry, it is like I mentioned, one of the sectors which is in a great boom as of now. It has beat companies like Texas, Qualcomm, Nvidia. I'm repeating myself, but these are the companies who have seen a great number of influx in terms of candidates recruited. They have seen a great increase in the uh, CTC that they offer to the selected candidates, be it the benefits offered to the selected candidates, and they have seen a great influx of shift of interest towards them. A lot of candidates who were previously opting for software, who were previously opting for the departmental core, have actually transitioned to a VLS and semiconductor based industry because it provides flexibility wherein if you have a decent knowledge of software, it will not go to waste here. If you have a decent amount of core knowledge in your electronics core, it will not go to waste here. But your combined knowledge of these two will actually make you a great engineer in this domain. Fair? So moving forward, with this will again have predominantly 2 rounds. The first round being the online assessment, where we'll be testing you on your logical reasoning, digital and analog electronics, circuit theory, STA or static timing analysis, computer organization and architecture, and C programming. A fair word of advice to everyone: please study computer organization or architecture. This is a question that is asked in almost every single interview that I know of in this domain, and this is one of those topics that people, even the people who are strong in other sectors, other topics in this domain, are not very confident about. Secondly, I cannot tell you the number of people who are very, very well versed in the technical skills in this domain, but lack in logical reasoning and C programming. And that has cost them multiple opportunities. Please pay attention in particular to logical reasoning and C programming. You could be the best writer of code in Verilog. You could be the best circuit analyzer who analyzes and creates circuits which are optimized and the best in case of be it in a case of LV circuits or otherwise. But if you do not clear the logical reasoning rounds, or if you perform poorly in the C programming rounds, you will not get through. Please pay very close attention to all of these equally. I do not want any of you to become another statistic of the people who are very good engineers, but they lack these skills. I want each and every one of you to excel. Okay. The second round, post the shortlisting that I discussed during the software process, they will have an interview. Again, these interviews will cover the same topics that are listed in the online assessment section above. And I expect you to maintain a great deal of decency during interviews, be it in case of any of the domains. And I expect you to work on your soft communication skills as well. It doesn't matter if you're great at everything. I need you to be able to communicate that as well. Fair? Let's move forward. Yeah. Alumni sessions we have already discussed in length. I don't believe that requires any further emphasis. Let's move forward. Domain project workshops. You are all very familiar with how important projects you are and why you guys have a lackluster resume. Again, that is not meant as an insult. Please take it constructively. No one starts off with good projects. I had very poor projects when I started off with my resume. Every single great developer that I know today started off with basic projects. The only reason we've improved is the fact that we are open to learning. That is the only thing I request of you. That is the only reason why I ask you to attend the domain project workshop sincerely and to complete the task that we allot to you. Fair? Let's move forward. Again, CV building and resume sessions. We'll show you a sample resume of what the new resume format looks like. But yeah, that is exactly this thing right here. Yeah, I need you to be very, very thorough on this resume template. We will give you the latex code of this as was provided to you last year. We will give you a list of keywords. We will tell you how to include statistics and numbers in this resume. And we will tell you how to use action words and make your resume pop out in front of the crowd. Fair? I need every one of you to be attending that resume building session and paying attention to at least these 4 sections. Fair? Great. Let's move forward. Okay, evaluation tests. Like I mentioned, you will have 2 evaluation tests in the month of December. These evaluation tests will strictly judge your technical knowledge. For software people, you will have the exact same syllabus. For the domain sectors, you will for the departmental core sectors, you will have the exact same syllabus. Basically, all of the syllabus that has been documented in the 4 sector bifurcation that we provided to you, that will be followed in these evaluation tests. and I need you guys to be thorough on them. You are no longer intern training prospects, you are placement training prospects. I need you guys to take this process far more seriously than you did last year. You know how a laid back attitude, how far laid back attitude gets you. And trust me, not everyone gets as lucky as you think. If you want to bag the opportunity that you feel you deserve, you have to work for it. Fair? Let's move forward. Okay, I'll just give you a quick brief of the software IT and BFSI sector. Yeah, the prerequisites that are expected out of you. This is arranged in no particular order. I need you to be thorough on your data structures and algorithms firstly. Fair? For this, I am hoping some of you are very well versed and have great practice on this domain, be it via project, be it by solving sheets, be it by doing extensive competitive programming. If you think you have great practice, start by solving the CSES or the Striver problem set. That should be a good place for you where you can keep on brushing that skill. If, however, you think you have missed out and you do not have as great of practice as compared to some of your peers, there is absolutely no need to worry. There are still sheets that build you a little bit from the ground up by having more number of easy questions, by having more number of basic questions to help you build logic, to help you develop logic building, and to help you develop your confidence, like Love Bubber sheet. Fair? Or maybe problem sets on CodeChef. Start by doing them. Once you have built up your confidence, solve medium level and hard level questions as well. And maybe if you manage to solve the sheet in its entirety, which you do not need to, by the way, go topic by topic, and then you can migrate to some other sheet if you feel that will be more beneficial. Again, this has to be addressed on a case by case basis. Feel free to reach out to any of your training coordinators or to the chief coordinators themselves. We are here to help you. It is our job to help you, and we will not ignore you. We will help you out. Fair? Next up, I need technical projects. You will all be going for internships this summer, I believe, because of the SIRE evaluation that follows the next year. However, besides that, I need 2 strong projects for every single one of you. How do you get these 2 strong projects? A, you either follow the topics that we give you in the 30 plus curated problem statements, or B, you can, if you think you have found a gap, if you think you have found a good problem statement, go for it, build it. That's how you learn in software, by building. Outside of DSA, obviously, how you learn software development is by developing software. Fair? Apart from that, your CS fundamentals, as I mentioned, you guys need to be thorough in them. DBMS, SQL, OS, computer networks, and OOPS. No exemption for you guys. Every single topic is important for you. And besides that, your communication skill has to be on point. I do not need you to be a fiery orator, but you should be fluent enough to get your point across. You should be fluent enough that you're understood by your interviewer. That is my whole point. Puzzles and aptitude. This is again that is asked by some major recruiters like SAP Labs, which is notorious for asking a lot of puzzles and aptitude questions even in their interviews. So you can go on over to GFG or IndiaBix for this, and I think that should be an exhaustive list of resources. However, if any of you feels like you have found a piece of resource or a piece of information that may be beneficial to you that we have missed out, please feel free to reach out to us, and we will let you know how far we believe that resource can help you. Let's move forward. Yeah, recruitment process, again, very well detailed. Resume shortlisting. Yeah, this is where the importance of a CGPA comes in. Fair? We are yet to emphasize this, but I'll just say this blunt to you guys. You need a good CGPA. End of line. That is the bottom line. There are companies which, in the name of resume shortlisting, will do resume shortlisting. However, there are also organizations which will simply do a CGPA shortlisting. Fair? There have been organizations even who have come for placement drives for FTE hiring, which have kept a CGPA cutoff of 8.5 in the mid of the 7th semester, which is insanely high no matter who you ask. Fair? So that often becomes a barrier to entry for a lot of software enthusiasts. While I understand your inclination is towards software, that in no way is an excuse to lower your CGPA. A lot of your seniors have done that in the past, and trust me, you can too. You just have to prioritize what you want more. Do you want a high paying, your dream job, or do you want to prioritize excuses? And trust me, I believe in each and every one of you. You have what it takes to balance both your software understanding and development and your CGPA and your academics at the same time. Fair? That is the only significant thing that this slide contributes. Please work on your CGPA. Apart from that, anyone who is working good in the domain of DSA, I'm pretty sure you will be able to clear those online assessment questions. And technical interviews, again, we have prospects for that. We have methods for improving your performance in technical interviews as well. So no worries on that. Let's move forward. Here are a list of major recruiters that have visited our campus in the past, and they do visit now. Google has taken in a good chunk of FTEs as well as interns this year, two of whom will be guiding you as part of the training committee itself from computer science department, Priya Bratswai and Ishika Podar. We have a decent number of recruits from Microsoft and every single company that is listed over here. Trust me, these are some of the dream companies that people uh, enlist while we ask them what their dream companies are. And if you play your cards right, it is not too late to start. You can end up in any company that you wish. Fair? Let's move forward. Okay, we'll move on to the analytics and consulting sector, and I hand over to Jyotishman to take over this.
Thank you, Omkar. First, I begin. I would like, if anyone has any doubt, if you have any doubt, you can clearly write it in the chat box. All right, you don't need to shy away who or what will think. We are all beginners at a point. So feel free to post your doubts in the chat box. There is no shying away. If you will shy away now, then it will be your loss only. You won't be able to know the things that our seniors have given to us and now we are providing it to you. So feel free to write any kind of doubt that you have regarding placement session, regarding what type of placements are coming in our NIT campus. You can write anything you want. We are ready to answer your questions. All right. Okay. So now talking about analytics and consulting sector. The basic prerequisites for analytics and consulting sector are the puzzles. For puzzles and aptitudes, you have to go through. You have to prepare quant, which is basically number theory, algebra, arithmetic, geometry, and combinatorics basics as a whole, up to a level of the class 10th level that we have read till class 10th level. That much shall suffice the type of questions that companies ask in their online assessment round. For logical reasoning and DI, I suggest the DI books of Nishit Sinha. And for VRC, you can also refer to various suggestions, various type of books which are available on the internet as well as in the offline market. So this comprises of the online assessment part for analytics and consulting based companies. I will be coming to guesstimates in a short span of time. So this will be the first round. The second round will be of case study. As I mentioned earlier, there are two types of case study. One is the structured and the unstructured statistics. Structured statistics will be the type of data sets that we will be providing to you, and you have to uh, declutter the data. You have to use certain tools of Python or SQL or MS Excel in whichever field you are comfortable in, and you have to provide the solutions of the problems that we will provide to you. And also, we can include questions of visualization. So you need to have basic knowledge on Python, SQL, MS Excel, and Power BI tools, business intelligence tools such as Power BI or Tableau. The knowledge of statistics is a must. Mean, median, mode, standard variance. The knowledge of probability is also must. There are companies who asks basic probability questions, basic statistics questions. For example, the Bayes theorem, total probability theorem, etc. This is the bare minimum you need to prepare to ace an analytics company. You need to have an ample knowledge on Python. There are mostly four important libraries that you need to prepare so that you will have a basic idea about how to do EDA, which is exploratory data analysis. And I suggest every one of you who are inclined towards analytics and consulting sector to prepare at least one EDA project. While preparing a EDA project, you will be cleared about the four libraries that we use while doing EDA, which are NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. So this will clarify all your doubts, all your procedures that were going forward, which will also be handy if a company asks you to do a structured case study round. So yes, there are companies which ask this type of rounds, this type of questions in their second round of recruitment. You need to learn, you need to have a basic to medium level knowledge in SQL, DBMS. You need to have knowledge on SQL. You need to know how the tables are joined together. The joining of SQL is a must. You need to have utmost mastery in that subject. MS Excel, advanced MS Excel tables, pivot tables. You need to learn everything based on that. You need to have an overview of all the Microsoft Office, Excel, PowerPoint that you know. For business intelligence tools, you can either go for Power BI or Tableau. Both of are industry level tools which are used to visualize the data that you have gained through visualizing through by which gained by analyzing the data using Python or SQL. So these are the basic tools, the bare minimum that you need to prepare to ace an analytics company. If you want to have an edge over the other students, so you need to also learn machine learning. You need to basically learn the basics of machine learning first. The basics of machine learning will be the structured learning. You need to learn the mathematical part of the models, of the structured part of machine learning. So because most of the companies which visit our campus, they won't ask you to code. They won't ask you to write a code of this machine learning model, because they know everyone can write the code of the machine learning model. So they want to analyze your in-depth knowledge, how much knowledge you have in that particular model. What is the mathematical play, what mathematical equations that are coming into play at the backstage of the ML model. They want to know that do you know that or not, such that a company won't ask you to write the code about linear regression. They will ask you the total cost function of the linear regression model, and you have to give them the equation, and you have to explain them how that equation helps to solve the current model that you are applying for to train and test the data. So if you want to have an edge, I suggest you prepare the basics of ML, prepare a project on regarding machine learning. And like this, if you want to have an edge, you can also go for deep learning, but that is the secondary part. First, this much as written in this slide, you have to prepare this much to have at least a basic knowledge about what a company asks you to do in their day-to-day lives. Okay, so I missed guesstimates part. Guesstimates is also very much important in during the interview rounds. So during the techno managerial interview, the interviewer will ask you about guesstimates. Some examples of guesstimates are: how many water coolers are present in your hostel, how many flights take off and land at Delhi airports. So these are some questions you have to answer them in a logical manner, and everything we will prepare you from first to head to toe. We will prepare you thoroughly for the case study and guesstimates part, so you don't need to worry about that. The next part is the recruitment process for the analytics part. The first round, as I said, will be online assessment. There will be question on quant, aptitude, LRDI, VRC. Yes, there will be a coding round also. In coding round, we will be including questions on Python, SQL, and some amount of DSA. DSA, basic level of DSA, basic programming, we will be including. The second round will be a case study round and a technical interview. After crossing the case study round, you guys will be going for technical interview, in which we will be discussing in depth about the technical knowledge that you have on the projects that you have built, that you have mentioned in the CV. I suggest to you that the minimum, for the bare minimum, you should have 3 projects which are on EDA. Another will be on a business intelligence tool, either on Power BI or Tableau, and another a SQL project. And if you can go for machine learning, if you have that much time and ample amount of interest towards machine learning, I suggest you to keep one machine learning project at hand also. As Omkar said, we will be providing you a thorough project list of projects which you can do, and the industry level projects that you will be doing, you can include them in your CV as well. There will be, in the technical interview, there will be questions on puzzles and guesstimates. For the HR interview, we will be focusing on the leadership qualities and the teamwork qualities that you have. There will be basic HR questions to evaluate your cultural fit and your communication skills. The major recruiters that have visited our campus in this year and last year are PhonePe, Fractal, Deloitte, PwC, and EY. They come for consulting roles. We have ICICI Bank, Future First, and ZS, O9 Solutions. So this is the major recruiters which are coming for analytics. So thank you. That's all from my side. Now I would request Aniket to carry over for the core section.
So thanks, Jyotisman. So coming to the core, it is mainly divided into several sectors, mainly power and heavy industries, production and manufacturing, supply chain management, automobile, and oil and gas. And basically, I would like to mention that Some of the sector mainly targets some of the specific branches, like oil and gas mainly targets chemical and mechanical branches and so on. Can you change the slide? Next slide, please. Yeah. So these are some of the prerequisites that we expect from the candidates that are willing to sit in the core-specific company. First, I would like to start from good CGPA. Omkar has already mentioned about the threshold CGPA that today now generation companies are expecting from the candidates. So for an core-oriented company, a minimum CGPA of 8 is desirable. But I'd also like to mention that there are several companies that only allows top 5% or 10% of the brands to sit in that opportunity. So it's very important to maintain your CGPA. Now coming on to the strong resume, I would like to add the good project and internship part inside the strong resume. The strong resume should be tailored to to that specific industry and made according to the job description for which the company has visited the campus. And communication skill is a must to clear rounds like GDs and interviews, because soft skills are really important with the technical skills. Then if you are willing to sit for a core company, you should have a very good knowledge about the core subjects that are being taught in your branch. You should also have a good grasp of knowledge on the softwares that are being used in your branch. Like for mechanical it can be SolidWorks, and say for metallurgy it can be Expert High Score, etc. And it is desirable to have a good aptitude practice to clear the OT rounds, because aptitude logical reasoning is the first round of the OTs. Can you go to the next slide? Next slide. Yeah. So this is a basic recruitment process that is common for like all sectors. First is resume shortlisting. Then comes the online test, where it is divided into domain knowledge part and logical reasoning part. Then comes the group discussion, where the main communication skills comes into play. Then there's interview part, where two basically parts are there: technical interview and HR interview. And in the interview part, both technical and domain knowledge plus HR plus soft skills like communication skills are important to like to be to cross the interviews and get selected in the placement. And come going to the major recruiters of the core industries. Next slide. So coming to the major recruiters, there's ExxonMobil, TVS, Jindal Group. I would like to mention not only JSW but JSL, Jindal SAW, Jindal Power comes to recruit from many branches. Then there's Tata Steel, Bajaj, ABG Group, Reliance, L&T, PNG, supply chain management recruiters like PNG, Hindustan Unilever. Also, there's some PSUs that are recruiting continuously from the past year, this year also, like HPCL and BPCL. But they are targeting some specific branches for it, like mechanical, electrical, and sometimes chemical too. So I would like to give the dash to Omkar to explain the VLSI part. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Aniket. Thank you, Jyothishman, for that description. Let's just quickly move on over to the VLSI and semiconductor industry. This is nothing new that I'm going to tell you. Everything that I've told you prior during the recruitment simulation process applies here as well. However, there are a few additions here. Like the digital design puzzles. There are certain companies that do prefer, that do ask digital design puzzles as well. What they You can easily look up these puzzles over online and just skim over them once. Any more time investment into these puzzles is unnecessary. Just focus on making sure that you have your fundamentals clear on the topics that have been listed here: digital and analog electronics, network theory and circuit analysis, STA, computer organization and architecture. C programming is something you should have hands on, and strong projects are a must. What strong projects are, we'll again brief you through. Let's not repeat the same stuff and waste your time. Let's move forward. Yeah, the recruitment process in an actual VLSI and semiconductor company is much like a mishmash of core and software. Okay. Firstly, we'll go over with the resume shortlisting process. Again, this could be a thorough resume shortlisting, and you get a call based off your resume shortlist. Some of the companies that do this are ST Microelectronics, or they, because of a large influx in the number of candidates participating, they could simply lay down a CGPA criteria. Again, that is where the importance of CGPA comes in. I and Aniket have stressed this enough. I believe Jyotishman as well. And we cannot stress this enough how important a good CGPA is in this process. please make sure that you maintain a decent CGPA throughout your placement process, right? Moving forward, there will be an online assessment route. Logical reasoning is a must here. Please, if you are someone who is interested in VLSI and semiconductor, I'll hate to see you getting rejected because you did not work on your logical reasoning. Please work on that. Have hands-on experience in C programming as well. Fair. These are the two topics where I've seen a lot of great VLSI and semiconductor people fumble because they have great domain technical knowledge, but these are the two places where they lack. Make sure you don't ignore them. They become the Achilles heel of a lot of people who could have been great engineers in some great companies. Fair. Moving forward, there will be a technical interview followed by an HR interview. There are also companies who take in multiple rounds of interviews, and there are companies who take in a single round of techno HR interview. Fair. To give you the crux, there will be a resume shortlist, there will be an online assessment, and there will be some form of an interview. Fair. I need you to be well prepped based on the prerequisites that I've mentioned for each and every domain, not just VLSI, not just software, not just analytics. Depending on what sector you're choosing, you need to be prepped with the prerequisite that has been mentioned in this PPT for each and every domain sector that you prefer. Fair. That is what will increase your chances of getting into your dream company exponentially. Let's move on over to the next slide. Yeah, here are some major recruiters who have recruited from our campus, both this year and in the past. Texas Instruments has been a continuous recruiter, so has been Qualcomm. NVIDIA has started recruiting from our campus. Ola Electric, which is a pioneer in the EV industry in our country, has chosen to visit our campus and recruit in great numbers. Synopsys has visited this year, and some great organizations which truly look at your resume before they make any decision, like ST Microelectronics, has also chosen to visit this year. You can see big names in this list as well, like AMD, Nvidia, and Micron, which are great names when it comes to chip design and modification. These are the companies that you unknowingly interact with every single day. Odds are the very device you're using to access this meet has a processor that has been made by AMD or Intel and uses a GPU that has been made by Nvidia or AMD. Fair. Okay, so I believe that concludes the chunk of this presentation. Yeah. Moving forward, there is a little new introduction that the training committee has brought forward. That is the training policy. Can we please just share the training policy over to the meet? So yeah, we'll be briefing you about the training policy that we'll be adopting this academic semester. The training committee functions on this very formal documentation. Each and every one of you who will be registering throughout for the training process by default acknowledge this policy as has been listed here and will make proper effort to adhere to it. Everything that we have covered in the PPT has been documented in the policy. However, I will like to highlight a few general instructions as well. Let's move on over to the general instruction section where the first point is regulatory action for unauthorized absence. Let me make an extension. This is regulatory action for unauthorized absence and unruly behavior as well. Fair? There are a degree of offenses that we see to be fit when that the training committee can undertake. If you're caught doing malpractice during even the training process, we can take punitive action. If you are found violating the code of conduct is again detailed in the very same document, which will be shared to you shortly. And the third and the most notable violation of the training policy that the training committee takes with utmost importance is registering for the training process but not showing up. That tells us that you have a degree of complacency. You have taken the training process for granted, and that is a pattern of behavior, a pattern of thought that we will not allow anymore. Let me tell you why. Firstly, you believe you are very well prepared. However, this could be true or maybe a belief. Fair. Let's just say you were not. You chose to actively abstain from the training process, not attend it. You somehow cleared an interview, cleared an OT, and got in front of an interviewer. You then underperformed like crazy. The interviewer got a very bad reputation of you, and since you're a part of this college, they got not only a bad impression of you, but you brought on bad reputation to the college as well. What this does is this may cause the same organization, the same company, to choose to not visit next year. So one action of complacency, one action of taking your own career path for granted has not only cost you, but the entire institution. And let me make it very clear, this is something we will not allow this year. If you want to get into your dream company, bag your dream offer, we are here to help you. But we will not tolerate any lousy behavior. or any complacency anymore. Your incompetence will not be the source for the college getting blacklisted by another company. And that is the bottom line that this training committee will function on. Moving forward, I will have Jyotishman explain to you the attendance and performance criteria. Jyotishman, please.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Uh, attendance of all the training session, workshops, and recruitment simulations, which are organized by CDC and implemented by the training committee, will be tracked and updated by the concerned training coordinators of respective departmental branches. So, as I speak, there are training coordinators who are tracking their attendance also in this present orientation program, and the further evaluation tests that we're going to conduct in this month only, that we will conducting evaluation tests. So we will be taking all the attendance, we will be queuing up all the attendance one by one, and we will be seeing all the TCs will be departmental. They will be seeing their department students, which student how much he is absent in an evaluation test, or he is absent in this orientation program. And likewise we will be taking regulatory actions. And let me tell you, regulatory actions are not a good thing, because if you are in that number of in that few chunk of students on which there are regulatory actions, then we will be facing serious consequences. The consequences are you will be expelled from the training groups, and also there might be chances that you might not be sitting in the recruitment process of either a C2 or a C3 company which will be visiting to our campus. So be aware of this. Attendance is a must this year. And as I focus more on attendance, and we will be coordinating with the placement coordinators as well, and we will be seeing, and have also taken the permission from the CDC that to take impulsive action against you who are not appearing for the evaluation tests, who are not appearing for the meetings or for the workshops or the sessions that we have called upon for you. All the students who are not shortlisted during the recruitment simulation 1 or in any sector are strictly required to attend recruitment simulation 2. So in this training session, we will be having two recruitment simulation. In the first one, every one of the students are eligible to give test, and out of this, a chunk of students will be shortlisted, and there will be students who won't be shortlisted in the first online assessment. So I request you to be thorough, read for the online assessment before coming to appear on the exam. The students who won't be shortlisted in the first round of the online assessment of a particular sector, they are required to attend the second recruitment simulation, which will be done after a month or so, without any exception. The recruitment simulation 1 is mandatory for all registered candidates. The candidates who are not shortlisted during the recruitment simulation 1 are also required to attend the training committee booster session. So the students who aren't shortlisted in the first recruitment simulation, they will be required to attend the training committee booster sessions, which will be doing either at a weekend or at the convenience of the training committee, in which we will be taking your doubts, taking your queries, where in which particular field you are lacking. Are you lacking in encouragement, that there is no encouragement from the training committee, or you are lacking from your own laziness or particular so, or any kind of skill issues, skill deficiency. So we will be sitting for these booster sessions. We will be providing you the resources, we will be providing you the mentorship regarding that, and after a month or so, after preparing you for that, we will be making you eligible to sit in the recruitment simulation 2. And the attendance in the TC booster sessions is mandatory. Failure to comply will result in strict disciplinary action, including potential disqualification from participating in the recruitment drive. And this is a very heavy toll if you are. This will be a very heavy toll if you will be not attending the sessions. Okay, so basic code of conduct. Basic code of conduct, it is the responsibility of every student opting for training to ensure exhibit appropriate behavior throughout the process, or else there will be strict exemptions against them. All the students should demonstrate a high standard of honesty, integrity, and responsibility. You should be highly professional while talking to your training coordinators or the chief coordinators, and you can ask them doubts at any time of the day. But I will highly suggest you to not to bug them during the off hours, during the night of around between 12 to or any time if they are not available. So try not to bug them by calling them 10 to 15 times at a stretch. So it is also very hard upon you also, because upon you and also the training coordinators, because they are working day and night to make this process as smooth as it can get. You should comply with the rules and regulations of the training committee. It is needless to say. You should adhere to the professional ethics during the mock GDs, mock interviews. Students are responsible for monitoring the progress by maintaining regular communication with their respective coordinators. We highly encourage you to have a healthy conversation, healthy communication with your respective training coordinators, because we are here to help you only. If you have any doubt regarding anything, you can ask the training coordinators or the chief coordinators, anyone you like. You can ask them, you can ask your departmental TCs, they will be ready to help you. The dress code for these sessions will be for the GDs or the mock interviews are the formal t-shirt, formal shirt, formal trousers, and neatly combed hair. A minimalistic look is always desirable for the mock GDs and mock interviews. And finally, we will be taking an acknowledgement of training policy when you will be registering for the same. All right, so this is the part of the training policy, and these are all the regulatory actions that might have an implication over you if you are not attending the sessions properly or you are being absent after diligent warnings.
Sure. Thank you, Satishman, for that. So yeah, I believe there are a few questions in the chat. Can we bring them up, please? Yeah. Would you please suggest some points or experience for improving communication skills to make interviews more interactive? Look, first and foremostly, to make an interview more interactive, the thing that drives an interview is your resume. Secondly, just focus on basic fluency in your communication so that the interviewer is not bored. It is a very common thing that I have noticed as well. Interviewing for startup incubators and for some YC companies, it is very easy for the interviewer to get bored during an interview because he has seen the same repetitive projects, the same repetitive statements, the same repetitive improvements over and over again. Please bring something new to the table and make sure that your communication, if not groundbreaking, is at least fluent. Secondly, how you can drive an interview in your direction is by having a very strong resume. I'll give you my own example for this reason. The company that I interviewed for when I was sitting in my internship season was Wells Fargo. The first round was classically always a DSA round. The interviewer steps into the interview and uh, after your brief series of introduction, asks you a DSA problem. In my case, however, since my resume was very project dominant, the first question that my interviewer asked me post introduction was to explain one of my projects. And since I'm very much more confident in my own development skills, that went in a direction that was very favorable to me. The first few questions, the first 30 to 40 minutes of the interview, which was scheduled for a total of 45 minutes, went just to my project discussion. An interview which was scheduled for 45 minutes then ended up going past 60 minutes. And the amount of DSA questions that he could ask or the number of CS fundamentals that he could ask drastically reduced. I'm not saying that had he asked those, I would have been at a disadvantage. No. But I do prefer being questioned on my developmental skills because I'm far more confident in that. Fair. So the key takeaways from this question is one, build a strong resume so that you can drive how your interview goes. Secondly, be fluent, if not groundbreaking in your conversation. See, please make sure that the interviewer is not bored. But if you take care of the first 2 points, trust me, the interviewer will not get bored. Great. I believe that answers your question, Debmale. If you still want clarification, feel free to reach out to any of your training coordinators or any of the chief coordinators. We are here to help you. Fair. We'll just wait for a couple more minutes in case any other question pops up. If that is not the case, we will be wrapping up. The entire the entire live session will be available in its entirety by means of a recorded YouTube lecture whose link will be made available to you. You will be given access to the presentation as well so that you can refer to it. And we will share the training policy with you shortly as well. Barring that, I wish you all the best for a very successful session that is yet to come. So yeah, there is up another question. Moderator, can you please bring that up? Yeah. Approximately how many software companies allow the lower non-circuitry branches? Would we have to prepare for both analytics and software? Look, being from Firstly, let's just drop the term lower. Fair. Every branch has its own significance. There is no point in calling a branch lower. For non-circular branches, however, I understand why this question may arise. There are a select few companies which do allow these branches as well. For example, as far as I know, Microsoft does used to allow these companies up until last year. This year, Microsoft has come in for circuital only. There are companies like Accenture. There are companies like Avalara which allow some of the non-circular companies, some not circuital branches. There are also companies which come in open to all, big companies which come open to all, like Google. Fair. There again, I believe this on our campus it was circuital only, but in a large chunk of campuses they do allow in non-circuital branches as well. Trust me, your placement committee is working tirelessly to make sure each and everyone gets an equal opportunity and equal foot in the door in the sectors that they're interested in. Moving on to the second part of your question, would would we have to prepare for both analytics and software? Look, coming from a non-circuital branches, you will not get as many opportunities for software. Fair. If you think you are very confident in software, you will get through. No worries. If you don't crack an on-campus opportunity, there are plenty of examples of your own seniors, of my own batch, of my seniors who have cracked software opportunities off campus as well. But it is always great if you're in from a non-circuital branch to have a backup if your primary is software, and that backup as analytics as a backup is great. So I would suggest you prepare for both software and analytics. However, do not get demotivated because a less number of companies are visiting your branch. If you work hard enough, you will make it through, and I can guarantee that. Fair.
Yes, one
I
thing to
hope that
add,
answers it.
one thing
Mhm.
to add for the departments of BTBM and FP. Let me tell you, if you want the numbers, then almost 25 to 30 companies have visited this year only. From August to December, if you can say, almost 30 companies have visited to these branches for software domain. If you are highly fluent, if you want to pursue your career in software field, then you can definitely go for software because there are ample opportunities, and only there is only one crux here, and that is you can't be mediocre in this software field if you're from BTBMFP. You have to be at the higher level of students who are preparing for software jobs, or who are preparing for basically for software. So if you want to really be, if you're interested highly to go in a software job, you want to pursue your career in software, so I would suggest to go for it because there are ample opportunities. And this is also many people from BTBM and FP are placed in high packages in software also. So there is nothing demotivating in it. Just prepare, just
Yes.
focus your goal and to prepare for that. And you can prepare for both analytics and software. There is no problem because, frankly speaking, analytics doesn't take much time. If you're sitting for 1 month or so, whole analytics syllabus is covered up, which is required for which is asked by the analytics company. So accordingly, plan your timeline and schedule.
Great. So yeah, thanks for this question. I hope that answers your query. However, I will take this opportunity to bring up one more important point that I had forgotten. Thanks, Jyotishman, for reminding me of that. Firstly, your management of your expectations. When we say that a large number of companies, that is 25 to 30 companies, have visited for these branches as well in software domain, please make it a note that not every single one of these companies will be offering you 20 plus LPA worth of CTC. If you are in software, even if you have worked hard, please know that not every company has the resources to give you a 25 LPA plus CTC. It is very realistic and very important to manage your expectations. I've seen multiple people who think that every single person in analytics and consulting has a chance to get, let's just say, a 20 plus LPA as well. That is something I've heard. However, realistically speaking, not every analytics company, in fact, a huge chunk of analytics companies will not go anywhere beyond 10 LPA for your job as a fresher. Not a lot of core companies will do that anyway. However, am I trying to say that these companies are paying you less in comparison to software companies? No. Look at a core company which is giving you 10 LPA, for example, in a place like Raipur, versus a software company that is giving you a total of 16 LPA CTC at Bangalore. Those two are very comparable. When it comes to taking into consideration CTCs, please understand that there is a lot of nuance involved. Fair. Manage your expectations and do not always chase for packages. While I understand you have worked hard, given if I was in your situation, I was thinking of the same thing: having a good CTC, a good base pay, and a good package. I understand, but it is also important to acknowledge how competitive the market is. If there has been a large chunk of if you have been deep into the placement season and you're still waiting for a 25 LPA company, that again might just lower your chances of getting it through. Again, I'm not demotivating you at all. I really wish that each and every one of you gets into the dream, gets in a dream offer, a dream job that you always have dreamt of. Just work hard. Make sure you take into consideration each and every prerequisite that has been listed to you, and I can guarantee you that your performance will skyrocket in no time. That's it from my side. Do we have anything else to say, Jyotishman, Aniket? Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, feel free to
that's
ask
it
your
from
queries
our side.
over to your. Mhm. Feel free to ask
Yes,
your
feel
queries to
free
your
to
training
ask the
coordinator,
queries.
your branch. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions. We are more than willing to help you, and best of luck for the upcoming placement seasons. Thank you, guys.
Yes, if you have any doubt, you can DM directly to your training coordinators and ask the doubts if you are not feeling free to ask here, and they will be happy to help you. Yes, one more question. Do consulting firms
Jyotishman, I think you
expect
can take this one.
candidates to have prior client facing experience, or is it something learned on the job? What books, case study repositories, or online resources would you recommend? Consulting firms, they don't expect for a student who has just passed BTech or a dual degree or entered MSc, they don't expect you to have a prior client facing experience. So every consulting company who consulting roles companies were hiring for consulting roles, first 6 months they will train you according to their norms. They will train you to face the clients, they will train you regarding the product or the service that they are selling, and how the product or the service, how it sells in the real world market, what is the real world scenario, what is the demographics, what is the geographics of that product. So it is something which is learned on the job, but you should be knowing the basics of consulting. Like if you can refer to the IIM casebooks, and if I can suggest, there are various casebooks of IIM Ahmedabad casebook, IIM Bangalore Calcutta casebooks, but out of them, IIM Lucknow casebook is the one that I followed during my placement season. IIM Lucknow has it has the casebook. It has all the content in which you can know the different type of markets, the different type of approaches that a consultant has to work through to either import a product, to market a product in the particular country, or to um, if a new product is entering the market, how the product should enter the market, what are the different channels, or if a company is facing losses, how to incur profits to that company. That is the role of a consultant. So for resources, I would request you to download IIM Ahmedabad or IIM Lucknow casebooks. There are well enough. You can have an idea about reading those casebooks, what happens in a case study round. And for basic and for the other case study part, the structured part of case study, for that I would tell you to learn Python or SQL, because you will be given data sets, you will be given workbooks, so you need to work upon those workbooks using Python or SQL. So these are two type of case study for that. Online resources, YouTube channels you can search. There are ample amount of YouTube channels. For one of I can remember is I am Calcutta, one YouTube channel is there for the case study rounds. You can refer to them as well, and they have a good amount of case study repositories. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jyotishman. I think that should answer your query, Ayush. Again, if there is any follow up involved, please feel free to reach out to us. That being said, let's wrap up today's meet. I feel we are well over the designated time. If there are any further questions, again, feel free to ask any of your training coordinators or the chief coordinators themselves. We'll be active there
In the
and we'll get
groups,
your query
in the
resolved
training
as soon
groups,
as we can.
yes, you
Yes,
can
we'll
ask in
get them
training
resolved
groups, or
as
you
soon
can
as we can.
directly DM.
Yes, please feel free to do that. Okay, that being said, best of luck to everyone for your upcoming placement season.
Best
I
of luck,
really hope
everyone.
that each and every one of you gets the offer that they have always dreamt of. Yeah,
Okay,
Manish,
one more question.
please drop the
One
question
more
to us
question.
via our, in the training groups or via DM. We'll take
Yes,
them up. We are actually a little overboard on time. Fair? Thank you.
That is one line
Okay.
question, I think.
yeah,
Omkar,
he